ND filters are probably the best-selling accessory for a drone, but there is often confusion about how to use them and why. In this video we will see if you need ND filters for shooting footage, hyperlapses and photography. I will also suggest which one to use for the different occasions. ND stands for neutral density. The purpose is to reduce light intensity without affecting the hue or the color rendition. In other words, they act like sunglasses to reduce the light entering the sensor. But why do we want to do that? Let's say we want to apply a specific shutter speed value while shooting footage, for example 1/50th of a second. With this value we can expose correctly only in certain light conditions, while in other situations the luminosity will be too strong and the resulting footage overexposed. To apply the desired shutter speed value in all light conditions, we must use an ND filters of the correct strength. There are three parameters for exposure: ISO, aperture and shutter speed. With the Mini 4 Pro, the aperture is fixed at f1.7, so we have only two values to take care of. For ISO, in most cases we want to keep the minimum value, 100. However, this model performs very well with values up to 400, without any noticeable quality degradation. So there is some room for maneuver if needed. The most important value is shutter speed. According to the famous 180-degree rule, when shooting video it is suggested to use a shutter speed of 1/50th of a second with a frame rate of 25 or 24 frames per second, 1/60th of a second for a frame rate of 30, 100 for a frame rate of 50, and so on. This is because this value applies motion blur to moving elements, mimicking how we would see them in real life. As you can see, with a fast shutter speed, the elements in motion look just a bit jumpy, too sharp, and not perfectly natural. In video, using the correct shutter speed value is especially important where the scene contains moving elements at a relatively close distance, or when flying fast close to the ground. Motion blur can be disregarded when filming landscape footage with a drone at a high elevation, far away from moving elements. Professional users always use manual exposure and apply the correct ND filter for specific light conditions before taking off. Casual users who prefer auto exposure can apply a filter that maintains the shutter speed more or less around the correct value. Like the Mini 3 Pro, the Mini 4 Pro has a wide fixed aperture of f1.7. With the 3 Pro, in the brightest conditions, ND filters are needed to expose correctly, even when using the fastest shutter speed and the lowest ISO value. To solve the issue, DJI has extended the slowest value for the Mini 4 Pro to 1/16,000th of a second, versus 1/8,000 for the Mini 3 Pro. For users only interested in footage, I suggest a set of ND filters made by DJI with value of 16, 64 and 256. The quality is excellent and the price very affordable. You will find a link to all the filter needed in the description. It is very easy to put them on and off. For video they cover all sorts of light situations. Even though there is a bit of a gap between each filter, we can easily compensate with a small variation of the ISO value. For this technique, motion blur is crucial. I would not even consider attempting a time-lapse or hyperlapse without ND filters. A common mistake beginners make with hyperlapses is disregarding the importance of the correct shutter speed. As you can see, the result is a disaster, unwatchable, especially when the scene contains elements in motion, which is, in most cases, the point of a hyperlapse. If we compare them to others using the correct shutter speed value, we immediately understand why ND filters are a must for hyperlapse and time-lapses. According to the 180-degree rule, we should use a shutter speed of 1 second with an interval between photos of 2 seconds, 1.5 seconds with an interval of 3 seconds, and 2 seconds with an interval of 4 seconds. But with drones, we don't have the same flexibility as with ground-based cameras. Shutter speed slower than 1 second are not always available in the hyperlapse settings. Also, the aircraft is not as stable as a camera on a sturdy tripod, so a very long shutter speed can cause unwanted image blur. For hyperlapses with drone, we must compromise and always select a shutter speed of 1 second. As you can see, the results are very good. The moving elements flow smoothly, and the motion blur is similar to what we would see in real life. The shutter speed of 1 second gathers much more light compared to the values around 1/50th of a second used for video, so stronger LD filters are needed. The ND filter with the highest value in DJI set is ND256. With this value we can use the correct shutter speed for hyperlapse only around sunset or sunrise, or in very cloudy conditions. This is a serious limitation, so I suggest adding a single, very strong ND1000 filter, also known as the Big Stopper, to the set of DJI filters. Such a strong filter can cover most daylight conditions, apart from the central hour of a sunny day, which are to be avoided anyway, as the shadows are very harsh, and the contrast between bright and dark areas is too strong. For photography, the only reason to use ND filters is for creative long exposure shots. It is great fun, and the results are often stunning. One way to do it is with a drone flying. The shutter speed value suggested is again 1 second, so we need the same set of ND filters as for hyperlapses. The best results are often obtained when flying close to the ground in a straight line toward the target. The idea is to have the target in focus while the other elements will be blurred. Another possibility is with top-down views while ascending or descending. It is better to avoid lateral moves, as everything will be blurred in this case. But the drone doesn't need to be always flying. It can also be placed on a solid flat surface and used as a ground-based camera on a tripod, even in urban situations. The Mini 4 Pro can take photos with a very long shutter speed values of up to 8 seconds. A new feature compared to previous models. Click on this link to watch my video about hyperlapses with the Mini 4 Pro. And don't forget to hit the like button if you found this video interesting. Thank you.